What's up, guys? Welcome back to 3G Video, where today we're doing a product review of the LEDMIRCY R1 rock lights. I'm excited to look over them, see what that's all about, and also get some work done on Benny, our project car, as we get into the second installment here on his build series. LEDMIRCY, or LEDMIRCY, was kind enough to reach out to me to ask me to do a review on this product. So they did send this product to me free of charge so that I could test it out and show you guys. However, there is no monetary compensation for me to do this. I'm going to give you guys my honest review on these lights so you guys can kind of see. And they sent it to me over, and I want to open it right here on camera so you guys can see that whole process and my true reaction to opening what they have sent me. My first reaction, it's in just kind of a normal box from Amazon. It doesn't have an Amazon specific box, but just kind of a normal box. Nothing out of the ordinary here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this open. Just use a different shipping box. Okay, getting into the second box, this should have our actual lights in it. Now I had them send over the R1 lights. These are a white light that is going to just be a solid white light. They do have a couple other options. If you're interested in this, they have ones that have like an orangish light. They'll do strobes and that type of thing for your off-road builds. So just keep that in mind as we go through this. First off, we have some packages here. It looks like these are the actual light pods themselves. Each package looks like has 4 of them in there. We should have 12, I believe. So we'll have 3 packages of lights. And then we also have our full wiring harness to put this into a vehicle. They each have a little rubber plate that goes behind the light, and we have, looks like a little product manual that goes in, talks about the product and what it's all about. So that's awesome. Set that over out of the way. With all this having its own wiring, that's really nice for everybody that's wanting to go put this onto your own car. It gives you, a flexibility of not having to wire everything. It's all right there. You can just find your mounting points where you want to put them and go with it. Now, I know it's a little bit different for me to be using rock lights because I don't necessarily have off-roading vehicles that I'm using it on. However, I did actually see a very good application this last year with some of the Dragon Drive cars that I took notes, and I was like, man, it'd be really cool to do something like that. And these guys reaching out was perfect because I wanted to put some lights around for working on the car in the night, and this is going to work out really perfect for that. However, I may not use the exact wiring, all of the wiring that they would normally use. We'll just see how that all plays out when we go to install. But it's a pretty simple setup. It looks like you have a toggle switch on and off. It has its own wiring. You can run up into the driver's compartment. You have a relay, which is awesome to see. They run a relay. All it takes to wire into your car system is you just need a positive and a ground, which is going to be nice, and it has its own fuse right there. So everything's on its own system. You don't have to worry about, wiring into other systems or such. It even comes with its own on-off switch here. Then at the end of your wiring loom, you actually have a thing that splits off to 12 separate wires, giving you some flexibility on where you want to run your wires out to each individual light. And then you have a waterproof connector that goes on to the end where the light will plug its wire into. So I believe it has a one-way connector as well. Yeah, so it's got a little pin there, so it has to go in the correct direction. You get it on there, you put it together, the collar comes up, and you tighten it down. So pretty easy install to put it all together, just with connecting your wires, and then you just have to get it power to see what the LEDs. So let's get some power to this and see what we're working with on our LED lights. All right, so we got the other lights off. Yes, I've been using a green screen, but I just want you guys to truly see how much light these things are putting off. It's actually pretty impressive. I wasn't sure with having, just something random off of Amazon, how they would fare, but they're doing really well with the brightness of the light. So I think each individual light would be good. I wasn't sure if just putting one in a wheel well would be enough, But I think, you know, just working at night, this would put off enough light that we could definitely be a help as we're working on something, and put a couple in the engine bay somewhere along those lines. So we kind of see what all is here. I do want to go over a couple points, so I'm going to turn the lights back on and go over some of the things that I kind of like about what this setup looks like, and maybe some of the things I think might be better, and what you guys might need to know before you purchase something like this. So as you can tell, they are pretty bright, and I think they're going to do a pretty good job for what I'm looking to use them for. Before we get to the pros and cons of this package, I do want to let you know that anytime throughout the video here, there is a link down in the description that if you guys want to go order this for yourself or one of their different models, you can go down there, click that, and it'll take you over to their Amazon store to, you know, pick up your own for whatever project you're working on. I do want to go over some of the pros and cons of this setup for you before you make that decision, though. So if you are a beginner, if you're somebody that's coming in for some of your first vehicle modifications and such, this is probably going to be more what you're looking for, because there's not too much hardline stuff that you have to, wiring that you have to do. The only things you have to wire into the car are the power and the ground, and then go directly to the battery or to a post of some sort. If you want to put it on a switch ignition, you can go into your fuse box somewhere in that neighborhood, and then you have your switch. It's already built in. Everything's pre heat shrink, pre connectors put on it, everything like that. The only thing that I would say that is a drawback to that is if you have a little bit more experience and you're looking for something that has a very, very clean install, this is going to be kind of difficult to do that because you have a lot of wiring. So for some of those lights that are closer to the bundle or closer to your switch, you're going to have to wind up a lot of cord just to, and then find a place to hide it. And then if you have it farther away, they do send in the kit an extra length of cord here. You can connect one end to the light and one end to the harness. That gives you a little bit extra room to grow, but there's only 2 of them in the kit. So if you have more lights that you want farther away, you're going to have to do some wiring and some modifications to this setup to make that work. Now, for something that I'm doing, I'm going to do a lot of modifications to it because I don't want 12 cords running everywhere whenever I have some of the lights that are actually going to be closer to each other. So I'm going to wire those together to have 2 lights off of one power cable that's coming out. It's going to clean it up a little bit, and I can make it to the right length for my application. I can tuck wires and hide it a little bit better than what I might be able to do if I had to coil it and had to run it off of one whole system. So if you have it all separate, you can run each individual wire and then bring them all together and make basically your own block that splits, and all the wires would be the right length and all that. But like I said, if this is something like your first project that you're working on, this is going to be a very ideal setup for you because you don't have to do any of that. It already comes with all of the connectors, and they are waterproof, so that's perfect for you. Another thing to look at is the rubber grommets that all the lights sit on. They have a hole in the center and then 2 on the outside. You're supposed to drill 3 holes to mount each light, and the center one is going to have to be pretty good size hole to fit the end of this cord through. So if you're just running wires, it could be a lot smaller hole, but you're going to have to drill a pretty good size hole to get that connector through. And then you also have to get the connector through your grommet first. So you got to push it through the center if it's going in the center, or you also have a provision to go through the side that you're going to have to cut out. And you can either cut it out with just the thin part, or you can make like a U shape to cut that out to give you some more room to work with. So just a couple things to keep in mind. The sheathing on this wire looks pretty thick, which is really good and rugged. I think that will be very good in some tests for longevity, but obviously I haven't had it on a car a long time. I haven't had it on a car at all yet to be able to tell you for longevity, and that won't be in today's video. So we might do some checkups on it just in future videos to see how the stuff's holding up. It's part of the other thing to know if a product is quality. So I can't necessarily tell you today just because we're unboxing this and we're not going to have, you know, it on a car for 6 months in this video or anything. But that's one thing to note. Also, if you're wanting to make some of the lights be on a separate circuit, you will have to do some modifications as well. I'm probably looking at doing that. I want some on the exterior that are going to be for the suspension, and then under the engine bay. And I also want some of the interior for my living quarters that I can wire in on a separate switch. So we're probably not going to be using the built-in switch too much, maybe on one of the sets. Not sure yet on how I'm going to do that. but has the little red light, which I love having a light on your switch. So I'll have to put one of those on the switch that I put in the car for the lights. And then, so it's a pretty good product. I like the way that it's all set up. However, like I said, if you're trying to make a really clean install and not have extra wire or need to have longer wire, you're gonna have to make some modifications to make this work in whatever application you are putting it towards. So hopefully that gives you enough information. And now we're going to get on to the point where I have to get this installed. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed seeing this video and getting to see the review. You will be seeing this again where we get this on Benny and get some more modifications done with him. On their little manual thing, it does talk about having it on yachts, on motorcycles, on ATVs, just on pretty much anything, four-wheelers, golf carts. So definitely can use it in other applications, and it looks like it is a waterproof product. So we'll put that to the test in our next couple videos, and we'll see. But thank you guys for joining me. Have a blessed day, and as always, I'll talk to you guys next time.